So shout out to Briella for this comment. This one's really good, so I'm going to read it for you guys here. She puts, Black people are always talking about how they are better than white people because they are melanated. Exactly, right? They talk about how, oh, we don't get sunburn. And I've heard some, Afrocentrics talk about the divine melanin and stuff like that. I mean, the most corniest joke of all is the whole like unseasoned chicken, joke. It's so pathetic and corny. It's like, really? But continuing on, she puts, white acceptance is very important to Black people because they feel that they are the only ones that have dark skin and that they stand out in the world. So the fact that there are people out there that are part Black and part white really burns them up. Let's talk about that. And this is a very significant factor here. They kind of feel isolated out here in this world in a way, in a sense, because like you said, number one, I'm going to state my opinion because they're very tribalistic. We know that, right? With them, analyzing them, very tribalistic. But then also what you put, what I agree, in conjunction is the white acceptance component is massive with them, especially when you examine the fact that they are literally, I mean, per capita, even in Africa, the motherland, okay? I've been to Ghana, which is like a 99% dark-skinned Black African nation. And what do you think the major religion there is? Christianity. And what is the symbol and image of Christianity? The God, the symbol that they worship. It is of a European presenting man, also known as Jesus Christ. And that's not just, on the motherland, Africa. That is all around the planet. So yeah, of course, it's here in the United States of America as well. So the fact that they worship a deity, so to speak, a symbol that looks nothing like them, shows you kind of their position, right? They want that acceptance, that white acceptance. And we can also observe the fact that no other group, no other ethnic group or racial demographic does that same exact thing. They don't have that same exact practice. They don't worship an image of somebody or a deity or a god that looks nothing like them. Okay. If they do, let me know. I mean, many people can make the claim about Latinos or Hispanics, but let's be honest, a lot of Hispanics look kind of like the symbol of the within Christianity and Catholicism, correct? Right? Maybe for some of the Latinos or people of the more indigenous background, it's a different story. But neither here or there, we are speaking about a specific demographic with this comment, which is congruent with me and with Briella as well, and most of my audience, those of us who are mulatto, which is a mixture of European and African. And this is one of the main kind of schisms that we see, someone like me and Bree and others, when we embrace ourselves fully, when we proclaim ourselves as being mixed or mulatto and we identify as such, we get a lot of hate because of that from a specific demographic. And that comes from the fact that us as mulattoes, it's our birthright. We are partially European. Some of us are, between 40 and 60% European. For biracial, we have a direct parent who is European. And since we're dealing with a group who wants acceptance from Europeans, but they'll never get that acceptance, right? That's kind of the schism where they have this jealousy, envy, and anger and hostility towards us because they see that we have something that they don't have. And a lot of them, they push that projection onto us. They always have the same line. Okay, I just did a video or like a live stream reaction to Dr. Umar, who's Afrocentric. But a lot of your other pro-wax will say the same thing. Oh, you're just mad the whites don't accept you. That's projection on them, on their part. That's really how they feel. They're upset that whites don't accept them. So they want to attack the closest thing to their massa, right? Which is a biracial person. So, because I've already, basically laid it out plenty times where it's like, look, a lot of my students are white. Okay. The men who pay me for professional services and English tutoring are white. And I look at my sister, most of her customers, clients, and students are white. So it's a complete farce and fraud, the projection that they push on us, that the whites don't accept us. It's like, yeah, a lot of us for sure, depending on how we act, how we're encultured, there's a lot of other factors. But the fact remains the same, is that we will always have that acceptance component more than them because we are closer to whiteness than they are. And as you put here with the whole, because they feel kind of isolated as being the darker skinned people. When you look around in Asia and the Middle East and even Latin America, etc., they're kind of the outcast, so to speak. You know, if I can say that, being politically correct in the kind of geopolitical scenery, it's very evident. And so there's a lot of projection and animosity that comes from them, especially with us, those of us who are mulatto, because then the tribalism kind of kicks in when they deal with us. But there hasn't been a lot of diplomacy with them, from them, on their half with us. It's basically forced us to distance ourselves and to organize, to develop something moving forward, because of a lot of the hostility, the jealousy is really out of this control. And that's exactly why I established a media platform to spread awareness. But I appreciate your comment, Bree. Really excellent comment. And I want to know what the audience feels about this. I have a lot of supporters, a lot of people tuning in, listening in, even people who aren't supporters who want to critique what I'm saying. Please post a comment. Let's talk about it. Sayonara.